Hi and welcome to my channel. Now, before I completely disappear off the HiFi scene, a subject I really ain't touched a lot on, to be honest with you. I think I've done one video on it, so I felt I was just kind of round off with another video talking about maybe buying your very first HiFi system, but just compromising with a record player and a couple of speakers. You've seen these systems about, some of them in suitcases, a little suitcase, got a record player, you open up the case and you've got a couple of pair of speakers at the front or something like that. You take the lid off. It may not be an actual case, it may just be one of these that's got a lid, and you've got a couple of speakers, one here, one there, that kind of thing. Just my kind of thoughts of maybe why you should give these a bit of a wide berth. Even if you're brand new, just getting into not so much HiFi but playing vinyl, shall we say. I've got a very low budget. This will be very, very low, because some of them suitcase ones you can pick up for £50 quite easy. Some of them are a little bit more expensive, go up to about £149, something like that. And also you get some where you've got a turntable, pretty much like this, maybe not so chunky as this one, a thinner turntable. Hasn't got the speakers built in, but come with a little pair of speakers, and they do the whole bundle for about £149, something like that, starting kind of price. Some of them are a bit dearer, obviously they go up in range to maybe £299, but they're kind of hovering around in that bracket. And if you're thinking about going buying one of these, maybe this is my thoughts, maybe why you should just hold back and maybe not bother getting one of those, and actually maybe looking for some second-hand stuff rather than that, and what would be the advantages of that. So the way I see it is that now I haven't got a lot of vinyl records, I must admit. I've got a lot more CDs, probably nearly 10 times more CDs than vinyl. It's just CDs were so cheap to go and buy. Charity shops and that 20 pence, quite a few places 20 pence, 50 pence a pound, top whack kind of thing. So that's why I've got a lot of CDs at the moment, where even if you buy second-hand vinyl, some charity shops are £5, something like that, and there's no way of knowing how bad they are until you actually get them home. And if you're going to go and buy a brand new vinyl, obviously talking average, it's going to average out a little bit here, £20–25. So in my collection I've probably got, I haven't actually counted, but I think it's about 37 vinyl LPs. I've got over 400 CDs, so you can see I'm a 10-to-1 in CDs really. But that's just me. Like I say, a lot of people now, you go in HMV, places like that here in the UK, and it's probably 20, 30, 40, 50-to-1 vinyl compared to CDs in some shops. I mean, I've been in some shops recently and there's hardly any CDs out at all. It's all vinyl, vinyl, vinyl. I mean, not always that ratio, but some of them can be seem that way anyway. There's very few CDs in one shop I went in recently. But yeah, so you're going to buy these records at say £20 if you're going to go and get a new one, £20–25 thereabouts. I know they do some deals free for £55 and stuff like that. But if you're going to buy an odd one here and there kind of thing, I think you've got to think of how many you're actually going to buy over maybe a period of a year. Obviously you're going to extend past that, but if you're a person that's just going to go and get one record every year, then maybe one of these cheap systems, you're going to be happy with that. You just want to play on vinyl here and there. But if you're one of the kind of people that's going to get one every maybe month or so, and by the end of the year picked up 12, maybe 20 albums, something like that, and you're paying £20 each for them, if you're going to buy one of these record players that's got a little beat speakers and that, you've kind of spent, say you did buy 20, you spent £400, maybe £500 on records, and you're playing them on a £40 player. You know what I mean? So you've invested all that money in records, but you've invested very little in a cheap record player, and you're not going to get that much entertainment out of it. The sound ain't great out of them little suitcase ones. They're okay-ish, but they're not great. I've had a couple, funny enough. I didn't do any reviews. I did buy a couple off of eBay, just like inquisitive really, but I didn't really bring them to the channel because I didn't think they're kind of like, they're really down market. They wouldn't bring anything to art. You couldn't call them HiFi, put it that way. So I didn't bring them. Maybe I should have done a couple of videos on them. Maybe I'll get one in the future again if I see it at a charity shop. You always see them in the charity shops, 10, 20, 30 pounds, something like that. Maybe come across one and just give you a kind of demonstration. But there's plenty of other channels that do demonstrations of them kind of suitcase ones, and even the other ones where you get a little set of speakers. Now, just a few tips maybe. The ones where you get the speakers and the record player ones, always look out for the red cartridge. They've got a kind of red, kind of squash kind of cartridge, and they're the kind of cheap cartridge you want to kind of stay clear of really. A lot of them, when you go from £149 maybe to £299, something like that, you're going to see the white cartridge on most of them. The Audio Technica, is it the 360L or something like that? You're going to see the white cartridge. This is just a cartridge up from that. I can't remember what actual model it is, but it's a little bit dearer than the free. It's kind of the next one up kind of thing. But anyway, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at there, stay clear of the red and try and get one of them white ones if you're going to go and buy one of them with a set of speakers attached. And the amplifier's built into the record player. You've got a little control there for the amplifier that's built in. They're okay-ish. They're okay-ish. They're still not great. I've heard them. I've been in HMV in there, and I've had a twiddle around and listened to them myself in there. I know it's a big shop, etc. And maybe not going to get the true picture, but I've listened to, I'm not guessing at all, but I think you should stay clear of them, because you're paying to get something reasonable-ish, £200 say, something like that, and I think your money be better invested in buying some second-hand units that you can kind of upgrade, and you're going to get a much better sound pretty much no matter which one you go and buy. You haven't even got to look at any reviews really, you can just go and guess some and you're going to get a better sound, to be honest with you. But obviously look at channels that do reviews on some old stuff and that, you know, have a look round, etc. Kind of get more of an idea, get, you know, more for your money kind of thing. But you can pick up a record player, second-hand turntable, record player, whatever you want to call it. Something like an Audio Technica, I'm guessing there, something like that. You're going to pick up one for about £40, something like £50 here in the UK, somewhere around there probably. I don't know how much life you're going to have on the stylus that's left. You may have to invest in a new stylus over a little period of time or a longer period of time. You may get lucky, some may have only just bought one, etc. But you may have to invest in a new stylus. If you get one of these Audio Technica ones, you're going to pick them up for about £20, something like that. So it may cost you between £60 and £70. Hopefully the belt's okay, you may have to buy a new belt, so about £10–12 new belt. But just bear in mind, so that could add to the cost of the basic record player unit, but you've got to get a much more better sound out of it. You've got to get much more better record player, even though it's second hand. I mean, I was lucky with this. This is like a £200 player-ish, and I got it for £50 because I was kind of getting rid of them. HMV here in the UK was getting rid of them, but I'm not saying suggest you could get lucky and find something like that. But it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't really matter which one you pick up. Second hand, you know, have a look at a few reviews, etc. Sansui, any make really. I'm just picking up a few Sony, any makes like that. A second-hand one, £40–50, and that's the basis of your start. So now, if you was going to go and spend £200, you've got £150, and you're easily going to get an amplifier and a pair of speakers for £150. Now, one thing to maybe that people with these bed sits and at college and that, they're getting this all-in-one system, and they've just got two speakers and the amplifier's built in because they haven't got a lot of space, and these amplifiers can take up a fair bit of space. So you haven't got to go and buy one of these old-fashioned vintage amplifiers. You could get one of these new little Class D amplifiers. They're very small, and you can pick up one probably for £60 or £70. They're not that expensive, some of these. So and they're going to give them, it doesn't matter which one you get, it honestly doesn't. I don't think they're going to give you a much better sound than one of these kind of combinations you're going to go and buy where you get the unit and the speakers separate. The speakers, they're not that great. You get them these units, and the amplifier is built in. It's not that great. It's got quite an harsh sound to it. It's not that great. These are going to give you more detail no matter which one you get. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. Obviously try and do a little bit of a review and scouting around trying to find a few ideas, but I honestly think it doesn't matter which one you get, you're going to get a better sound. So you haven't got to get a big amp like this. You get one of the small ones, so that's cost you say £60, £70 with a cartridge if you have to go and buy a new cartridge. If you don't, you may get lucky. And the amplifier about £60, £70 again, so you're about £140 in at the moment, something like that, worst case scenario probably. You've only got to get yourself a little pair of JPW, them little speakers. I've got a review on the site there. They're quite nice sounding, a little pair of Wolfdales maybe. It doesn't matter if it's a Diamond 1, 2s, 3s, any of those, they're going to sound much better. You can get any small little set of speakers, probably vintage kind of speakers that are a few years old. That's going to, and they last, them speakers. They suddenly conk out or anything like that. Out of all the items, they're probably the best item. They're going to last the longest. I've got speakers here over 50 years old, still sounding great. So don't worry too much about, I don't think, speakers of how old they are. That's what I would say. So there you go. So you've got maybe a set of speakers you paid £40. If you've got them little JPWs, £40, 140 in. You've got £180, and you're set up, and you're going to get a much better sound than you would over that other unit I was on about, where you just get the turntable, inbuilt amplifier, and a set of cheap and nasty and light set. You go in there, go in HMV, you go in any shop, pick up the speakers. You pick them up, you nearly threw them on the ceiling. You've got to be careful, they're so light, you know what I mean? Then you suddenly pick up a reasonable set of little monitor speakers, like I say JPW or something like that. You can feel they've got a bit of weight to them. So there you go. So like I say, you definitely got to get a big amplifier. You can get one of these small little digital ones if you want to. They're very small, so they're not going to take up much more room next to your amplifier. Then you can get the speakers each side. You're taking up another 6 inches or something like that. Not even that. I mean, some of them are about 5 inches, I think. Taking up 5 inches more space compared to the unit, them cheap and I'd call maybe on the nasty side unit. So that's that. Now you've got an advantage here also. There's a few advantages with this, is that you can upgrade that. You can upgrade that. Where these other bits you've got, you can't really do a lot of upgrading. Even on this turntable and probably a turntable, you can upgrade the cartridge if you wanted to at a later date. You built up your collection maybe over a couple of years. You've got 40 LPs now, and you think, I just want to spend, I've still not got a lot of money, but I just want to spend a bit more. Maybe not buying a record this week or this month. I'm going to upgrade my cartridge. You can upgrade your cartridge, that kind of thing. You could bring a CD player into it. You've got a bit more room in your bedroom or in your wherever you're staying. You could bring a CD player. You can go and get a second-hand CD player quite easy on eBay for about £40, something like that. So you could bring some CDs into it if you wanted to. Another advantage is what you buy, if you come to sell it, you're probably going to get most of your money back. You're going to get a reasonable amount, percentage-wise, of your money back. Where if you want to buy one of these other systems brand new, like I say, these ones that's got the amplifier built into the turntable, £199, say, something like that. You go on eBay and that, second hand, you're lucky to get half your money back. You're lucky to get half your money back because no one really wants them second hand, you know what I mean? They're not worth anything. So that's another small advantage. It's not a massive advantage, it's a little bit of a small advantage. I think you're probably going to get a little bit more for the items you bought than you would the item, like I say, that one kind of all-in-one kind of unit. And also you can upgrade each individual part of your unit. If you wanted to upgrade that little, say you bought a Class D amplifier, you want to upgrade that to something else, you could. Still got your turntable, still got your speakers, you could upgrade your speakers. You've got a few ways of going in a few directions there while you're still on a low budget. So that's my thoughts on these like cheap record players that seems to be different, hundreds and hundreds of different makes. They seem to bring out, some makes you never heard of and even makes you have heard of that are not that great when they start giving you a pair of speakers with an amplifier built in, or the amplifiers built in to the turntable. Okay, that's it. Maybe, like I say, just try and I would stay clear. If it was me going out and buying one and I was limited budget, I would stay clear. That's only my thoughts. Maybe you want to put a few thoughts in the comments down below yourself. Anyone who's had experience with these other units as well. But this is mainly, like I say, for maybe people that's going out for the first time, looking to buy a little record player to start their collection up. And I thought, I just seem to think that, when they go and buy one of these cheap ones, they've got a cheap unit, but they've invested a lot in the actual media, but not much in the actual unit that they're actually going to listen to it on. Okay, until the next video, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.